Parashat Mikietz, Parashat Chanukah. Today is Rosh Chodesh, and today is also, not today, coming in 2 days, but this shiur I'm going to dedicate to the yahrzeit of my grandmother, Matilda Batzara, my father's mother, and lahavdil, my father also will have a refuah shlema, Gedalia Moreno ben Matilda, so this is all will work out, and buttons up to all the guys here, going to have a great Shabbaton, and I'm sure it's going to be good, right, Eitan? A lot of bourbon. Yeah. Yeehaw. Hoorah. Okay, so Parashat Mikietz, very, very interesting parasha. Try to focus on something else this year because I'm sick and tired of the same stories over and over again. Let's try to make it more applicable to our days and what we have to do with ourselves. So where you going, darling? So we know that everybody, and it doesn't make a difference, but everybody sometime along your life, you're going to have a slip sliding away. You're going to start falling down. It happens. It happens to everybody. You fall, you start falling, things start to happen to you. You get a right, you get a left, you get a right, you get a left. Life beating you, and you get hurt. And it just sometimes doesn't seem to stop. It just goes on and on and on and on. You're okay, and all of a sudden, boom, everything becomes a chain reaction. One thing after the other, one thing after the other. It's so bad, you park your car, comes back, it's wrecked, there's nobody there, It's just those things happen. And it happens to all of us, and there's no way you could escape from that. You should know that. There's no way to escape from that. So after a while, you lift your head up, and you're trying to pick up the pieces. You're trying to recover, assess the damage, do some damage control, and, slowly you're still trying to pick up positive momentum again. But if we look at what happened to Yosef, it seems like he got like a really devastating blow. It's something that I don't think that most people would be able to recover from such a thing. However, I do have to say, and we should all not experience that. And listen, I don't care if you get angry at me or whoever gets angry at me, I really don't care. However, I can tell you that those people who were in the Holocaust got whacked much harder than Yosef. I think Yosef got the hardest bang in his, in personal hit until we came to the Holocaust generation. Nothing could compare with that. Nothing. What those people had to go through, and yet they made it, some of them. But it seems very, very difficult. It seems like what Yosef got looks like something that is impossible to recover from. But the reason why Yosef is so hard, because we're not talking about strangers. The uniqueness of Yosef, that it happens by his own brothers, his own flesh and blood. Here, where strangers do it to you, you can always, I have family to rely on, and so on and so forth. But Yosef was actually his brothers, the closest people to him, and not only they hurt him, they hated the guy. I mean, they hated the guy, and they were willing to kill him. At the end, they sold him, and we all know the story, and so on and so forth. We're talking about a 17-year-old kid. So when this whole entire deal happened to Yosef, he was 17 years old. And, he was an orphan, his mother died, so his father, cherished him, and he had comfort by his father. And all of a sudden, from this protected environment of being the cotton ball kid, all of a sudden he needs to find himself in a very cruel environment, basically fighting for his survival. Very hostile environment. Being a slave, being humiliated, from becoming the favorite kid, you become a slave. It's a very difficult thing to become a slave. And And if you thought that it was really, that was it was bad enough, so then what happened? It just becomes worse and worse and worse, and things seem to be out of control. He didn't do anything. It's kind of a blood libel here. People, his wife, what's his name? Potiphar's wife put some kind of a story on him. He goes to jail. He didn't do a thing. She goes to jail, and so on and so forth. So basically, a kid like Yosef, if we take this person, a kid, 17-year-old teenager, he had all the right in the world to really throw everything behind. He said, what? That's what I do? Where's Hashem in all this? Where is Hashem in all these things? Too bad Binyamin is not here today. I miss him. I made it especially for him. Tell him to watch it. A kid like this comes and say, what? I was keeping Shabbat. I was learning with my father Mishnah, Gemara, Halacha, Kabbalah. All of a sudden, I'm being thrown like this. What did I do? I didn't do a thing. Where's HaKadosh Baruch Hu in all this? Of course, people were very smart at the time, and Baruch Hashem, nobody came to Yosef and told him, it's a gilgul, it's a kapara for something you did in the past. There weren't such idiots at the time. They were all smart. But, he had really all the good reasons to do so, and so on and so forth. And not only that, he basically climbs up out of the pit. He makes it up in the ladder. He makes it up, with the ranks. He's becoming better and better, and he becomes a very noble character. He's Yosef. It's very interesting. I mean, there's a big difference between, let's say, Yosef and David HaMelech. David HaMelech was a redhead kid. He was playing music, playing the harp, playing reggae there. I don't know what he was doing over there. But Shaul was mostly smoking ganja. It was like, a nice guy. Yosef was an accountant, darling. Yosef was an accountant. There's nothing so glorified by being an accountant. But yet he was able to make something tremendous out of that. Tremendous out of that. There's something you guys should look at Yosef and the way he conducted himself. And should be very proud. Whoever's an accountant to be very proud. I mean, you have a good heritage. You're taking after Yosef. Don't forget, Sam. How much is 1 + 1?
How much you want it?
Whatever you want it to be. That's right. That's a good accountant's answer, right? So, let's see exactly. Was that a miracle, or what was it in Yosef that made him able to pick up the pieces and to put itself together, regardless of the hardship that he had? And you see, Yosef never blames HaKadosh Baruch Hu on that. He never says, oh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you left me, what'd you do to me? I tried to do whatever I can for you, and this is what you do to me. I mean, he never says that. So I think, we will complain, I would complain, I think everybody would complain. But he doesn't. And I think that this is what we should learn. Because, hardship is going to come our way, one way or another. Hardship is going to come our way. Nobody escapes from trouble. And I do believe that this is something that we could maybe, if we're able to internalize it, help ourselves when we're going to fall down, and we're going to have a little hardship coming down our ways. And we should learn not only what to do, but also what not to do. So let's go 1 second, a little bit back, and we'll try to understand the essence of the dreams because everything happened with the dreams of Yosef and so on and so forth. So let's see if there's a way we can connect it. I think overall we kind of misinterpret and misunderstand what dreams are in the Torah and what the dreams of, and what was Yosef's approach to his dream. Because we always try to say to Yosef, and listen, even his father, even Rashi and everybody says, he was a little arrogant. But maybe we were wrong all along to the way we portrayed Yosef as an arrogant kid who comes and says, you know what, I was dreaming, you're going to bow down to me. No, maybe that's not the case. Maybe that's not the case. So we need to understand that the way the Torah refers to dreams is completely different than the way the modern world looks at a dream. There's a whole section in psychology that deals with the psychology of dreams itself and the symbolism that certain items have in dreams. For example, argument's sake, if you have waves or this, there's an anxiety. If you're driving a car symbolizes control, lack of control, error control, and and so on and so forth. Without getting into this, just like this is how the modern world interprets that. We say you think about something, in the day, you dream about it at night, or you're in a desire, and so on and so forth, come up. So therefore, in the post-Freudian world that we are today, the dream is really a reflection of our internal world. Our fears, our desires, as we said, if you have an anxiety, so you're thinking about waves coming and chasing you. If you think about, you're driving in a car and somebody else driving in a car and the car spins out of control, so that person represents that he's taking control over your life. So basically what's happening inside of you internally. The Torah, and especially Sefer Bereshit, sees the dream as a reflection of the external world, surprisingly, of the external world. We already know that the Gemara refers to the dream as 1/60th of a prophecy. And the prophecy does not come to reflect to your internal world, comes to tell you something about what's going to happen with the external world. So, the uniqueness of what we call Baal HaChalamot, which is Yosef, in our world today, is even though he was a very, very sensitive soul, the neshama of Yosef was very, very sensitive. He was a very gentle and sensitive person. He was able to express his dreams in a very interesting way. That was his uniqueness. And his understanding, of course, of Yosef, of the human spirit, and so on and so forth, and his ability to really see the external future situation as it comes to reflect from the person's dream, as we see in the way he was able to reveal the dreams of Sarah Mashkim and Sarah Ophim. He understood based on that of what's going to happen, which is usually that thing is hidden for most people, because we always concentrate on the internal and we never concentrate on the external, and we're missing the message in which the dream wants to carry out for us. Of course, in the occurrence of dreams, that's beyond the scope of what we're trying to do here. There's a whole certain rules that we have to follow, but nevertheless, most of us miss the true meaning of dreams, and that's the uniqueness of Moshe, of Yosef. Most people interpret the dreams internally. Yosef is able to interpret the dreams as a sign to the future externally, how you are going to relate to the world, or how the world is going to relate to you in the message carried by the dream itself. And you see it later on when it comes to Paro and so on and so forth. He was able to do so, and that's very interesting, because in today's world, in today's day and age, in what we call the modern world, I'm not always quite sure that we're so modern, but in the modern world, the dream belongs to the romantic sector. It has to do with romance, it has to do with love, it has to do with things like this. The non-logical part of you, the part of the existence of the person who is concentrating in the self, in the person himself. And the dream in Sefer Bereshit is the extension of your awareness, and is very coherent. The dream comes to expand your awareness of things. So next time you have the dream, before you come to bamboozled all about it, or being all thrilled all about it, try to understand how the Torah would reflect to it, and you might actually be surprised with the message that the dreams would carry for you. So the personality of Yosef keeps this continuity in terms of the way he interprets the dreams. From the beginning until the end, we're talking about a person who is extremely intellectually rational. He's very rational. A person who is, he's really out there. He's big. He's thinking big. That his rationale does not only tackle and deal with the present, but also with the future. So therefore, he's a very broad visionary. He's able to see things big. He is able to see the whole entire picture, not only the person himself. So let's go back to our case. So I think this is very important to understand where Yosef is coming from. So the first moments after you get the hit, after you get the zets, sometimes it really seems to you that life is over. That's it. It's finished. I mean, believe me, I experienced it myself. Sometimes you get, unfortunately, bad news, and you're saying, you know what? What's the point of living after this? What's the point of living after that? It's horrible. So you really think life is over. That's it. It's finished. And there's no way for you to continue forward. But as they say, time is a healer. By the way, if you need to understand, time does not heal your wounds. Many times will make the pain less painful. There are certain pains that you will carry with you that will always stay with you. But they won't be as painful, as agitated as they are. But you're always going to have, you're going to carry a scar with you, you're going to carry some pain with you, and so on and so forth. But time, nevertheless, has this ability to wrap things a little bit different. It makes things easier, and sometimes it could heal you as well to a certain extent. So if you are willing to take a deep breath, to really clench your teeth, tight, roll your sleeves, push through it, and let time do itself. Let time take its course. It would seem that after a week or a month or a year or whatever it is, things would look a little different. And this is, by the way, a very interesting. Judaism follows a certain sense of science in terms of grief in the cycle of mourning that we have, whether it's the week and the first days of the Shiva, Lo Aleinu, and then the 30 days and the year and so on and so forth. And as you could see, we are obligated always to remember the day of the departure of the person to kind of make you aware that there's a battle scar there, something had happened. And by the way, all the pains that we have and all those hits that we get in life are battle scars. It's a battle out there. And you should be aware of it. You don't go and show your battle scars every day, but you have them in you. So don't forget, Yosef had 22 years. He didn't have a month or a week or a year. He had 22 years until he was able to see his brothers again. However, this time the players and the situation was completely different than last time they've seen each other. So how exactly you deal with that? How exactly those things happen? So it's everything that we says is true and is accurate and it's good, especially if the person is not staying still. If you're staying still and you're not involved in constant movement, most likely you will perish in your great pain or in the hit you get. Whether you lost your business, chas v'shalom, or you lost some dear person to you, we understand that there's a certain period of time of grief, of pain, but you should be able to snap out of it. Even Chazal tells us that chas v'shalom, when a person is grieving, should not grieve in the same intensity, throughout his life. It's not considered to be halachically appropriate to do so. So, if a person like this gets a hit, gets chas v'shalom fired from his job, or whatever happened, or God forbid divorce, or who knows. If he says, okay, whatever happened, happened, not that, okay, whatever happened, happened, no. Whatever happened, happened. Let me assume responsibility now to my life. I need to be responsible of my life now. I guess something happened that I didn't take enough care or responsibility in my life, and that's why things happened the way they happened. Things went out of control. Almost like a car. You're driving in a car, and you're just going to sit like this in a car. You're going to press the accelerator, the brake, the car is going to spin. I mean, regardless of how your alignment is. So this is the case. I'm going to take some responsibility in my life, and I'm going to make sure that I'm busy. Being busy is very important. If you sit there, you're going to sit there, you're going to start worrying. It's going to immobilize you. I mean, you're going to be completely finished. So you need to be busy. You need to be active, and you need to be creative. And I'm saying creative, and that means all the time. Even if you were doing real estate and you got fired and all of a sudden you're doing teaching and then you didn't work, it doesn't make a difference. You need to always create opportunities. This creativity, this activity will open many other windows for you to be able to become positive again. If you sit down and you mourn and you grieve your own bad luck, let me tell you, you fall in love with your pain, you fall in love with your troubles, and then you become semi-narcissist, maybe depressed, but quite of a narcissist. You love your pain. You're gonna, everybody that calls you said, hey, how are you? Oh, things are so bad, right? How are you? Oh, they're horrible, you know? And then nobody calls you. It's a cycle again, and you fall in love with that, and that's a very dangerous thing to do. Very dangerous. So you need to be active. Action creates positive opportunities. And you know, it's a way for you to get better. So that's very important to understand that. Yosef, in this case, he doesn't fall in his sour. He doesn't cry. He doesn't say, oh, why me? Oh, why me? HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't love me. You know what? I'm not keeping Shabbat anymore. HaKadosh Baruch Hu put me in jail. I'm not keeping Kashrut anymore. This happened. I'm a slave. Okay, I'm going to go with the chicks. I'm going to go with the Asian Putifar. He says, no, I'm not doing this. He doesn't let go. He's always keep on, and he's elevating himself, and so on and so forth. He doesn't feel sorry for himself. He doesn't feel helpless. He says, okay, I'll make do, whatever it is. I'll make do. I'll start again. I'll start again. What can I do? At least I'm alive to start again. At least I'm alive to start again. So okay, I'll start from the bottom. I'll enjoy the ride up all the way to the top again. All over again. Then up and down again, and then he's up all the way up again. No, why me? It's not, don't be Eeyore. You know, the donkey, the sorry-ass donkey, yeah. In any case, anywhere that Yosef is, he's because of this attitude, he's connecting himself to an action. He's making a progress. He's developing. He's moving up. And whether it's in the house of Potiphar, that quickly became the CEO of the house. You know, he's taking care of basically the whole entire house. And guys, Potiphar was not a cook. If you say Sarat Tabachim and you think it says it was a cook, he wasn't a cook. Nor he was Steven Seagal. He was the big honcho. He was the butcher, you know, from Baghdad. He was the butcher from Cairo, whatever he was. You know, he was a hangman. Okay, but you know, nevertheless, Yosef ran the house. And they threw him into jail. He became, you know, the best. You know, he's like a Lubavitch. You know, you put him on the bottom, goes to the top. That's why you're not going to find someone in Lubavitch in the OU. You know, they're not going to let them. They'll take over the place. Yosef? Anyway, and so therefore, you know, and instead of feeling sorry for himself, as I told you once before, instead of feeling sorry for himself, you start feeling sorry for others. He says, what's the matter with you today? He's in the jail, he's stepped in with them. He was sold, he was this. Why are you feeling bad today? It's like, what's up, homie? You know, what's the matter? You know, we're in jail, let's chill out, it's good. Right? He doesn't do that. He takes care of people. He feels the pain of other people. And that's why a person needs to understand that one of the things you need to develop as a character is a spine. And most of us are spineless. Needless to say, other parts of the body. But we are spineless. And every Every stop in every station, every stop of his life, Yosef is trying to stay loyal to his core virtues. And Rabbotai, in our society there are no virtues, and if there are no virtues, we don't have a society. We have an anarchy. And we don't teach our children to virtues, needless to say values, but virtues. We don't teach our children any like this. That's why I do believe it's very good for you guys to go to the army, to the armed forces. You learn some values and virtues. What does it mean to care for other people, and so on and so forth. This is very interesting. I heard one time an interview with, I think his name is Marcus Luttrell, the guy from Lone Survivor. I read his book, very fascinating book. But I saw an interview with him. So the guy, the interviewer there, says to him, I think the interview was also with Mark Wallenberg at the same time. And he said to him, the interviewer was trying to have compassion to him. All these people died and so on and so forth. And Marcus or Mark Luttrell, whatever his name was, said to him, I don't understand, what's your problem? He says, well, that's what we were trained to do. We were trained to do that. We were trained to be in this situation like this. So I don't understand why you're feeling bad. Don't feel bad for us. We're very capable. The fact that you're feeling bad for us means that you think that we were ready. We were ready. We were fighting for that. And the understanding of what it is to fight for your friend. You're going to give your life to your friend because you know he's going to do the same thing to you. These are virtues. We don't have it here. Here is like dog-eat man or man-eat dog here, not dog-eat dog. We don't have virtues. And Yosef stays loyal to that. He never throws HaKadosh Baruch Hu behind him. Again, this is very interesting because David HaMelech did the same thing. Yosef was honest, was tzanua, was hardworking, he was caring. Even when he was at the lowest point of his life, he did not lose from those characteristics in him. He didn't say, well, one second, wait a minute. I should feel bad for others? I should feel bad for others? No. Look at me, You should feel bad for me. I should feel bad for you. He doesn't do that. He's caring. He sees somebody's pain. He doesn't think about himself. He says, what's the matter with you? Why are you like that? He cares about people. So understanding that when you are falling down when you are on a decline, you are on a downhill, when you hold on to secure places that are complete, that are the absolute security of your life, that the virtues that really are the building blocks of your own self, this is the best mahalach you can have. It's the best thing you can do. And these virtues are your integrity, your honesty, your self-honesty, how true you are to what you claim to be. Are you that honest all the way? Yosef was in jail. Yosef ate garbage. And yet, when he was there, did not allow himself to cut himself slack to, listen, what can I do? Potiphar's wife, okay, listen, I'm your slave. Honey, do whatever you want. What can I do? He said, no, I'm not doing this. You're an Eshadish. I can't do that. Slave or not slave, I can't do those things. Would you cut yourself slack, chas v'shalom, if you're on the way down to do an Amarah? So he says, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing this. Why? Because for him, that discipline that he had that we don't have, that's what gave him value and meaning to his life. He says, without my virtues, without those qualities that I know they are absolute, there's no meaning to my life. That's what we call him tzaddik. We didn't hear any big thing about Yosef. We only hear horrible things about Yosef. He yells at his brothers, he tests them out, he plays around with them, plays with his brain, and yet we call him tzaddik. That's why we call him tzaddik. Why me? Why me? He's not jealous. He didn't say, brother, you sitting there by Pappy all the time, and guess what? I was here, I was digging up in the grave. No, he didn't say those things. He said, guys, don't worry about it. Yeah, it's okay. Hashem had the plan. Don't worry about it. When Yosef revealed himself to his brothers, you should know, he doesn't only reveal himself, that belongs to next week, but never mind. He doesn't only reveal himself to the brothers, he reveals himself, his inner world, to us. It's a guide to the Jewish people through the generations, how we should make it. Fascinating to me. Today I had an absolute fascination. Lubavitchers are, real pushers. So they met today with Putin. Yeah, the chief rabbi of this, they met with Putin. Putin. From the vodka, Putinka, yeah. You know what Putin told them? That's ridiculous. Yeah, hold on one second. Let me just see if I can find this. Hold on 1 minute. Hold on. I gotta tell you, this is ridiculous. Excuse me, let me just try to, of course it doesn't work. Hold on, this is a holy phone, it doesn't work when you want it. Hold on 1 second. Ezekiel bread, hold on 1 second. Yeah. Hold on. Why are you laughing, Yeshua? Holy phone, man. No, it doesn't work. Okay, can you get me Ynet? Anyway, Putin said that the reason for Am Yisrael existence, I don't know, I can't get it on my phone now. Putin said that the existence of Am Yisrael is due to the observance and keeping of Torah and mitzvot through all this time. Putin? KGB? He understands what we don't want to understand. תביא רגע Ynet. .co.il, תביא, давай. Not to give already. No, this. No. Okay, never mind. Oh, you find it. I don't know, I can't do this. I need Hebrew, not English. In English, I don't write stuff like this. They're afraid. Do .co.il. Okay? So Putin understands what we want to forget all the time. In other words, when Am Yisrael, you found it?
No.
Ynet.co.il. I know I can't get into this. It doesn't allow me to get in. It's just like searching. When you have it,
No, that's not it.
when Am Yisrael, what does it mean that what Putin said? He says Am Yisrael, through all the hardship of Am Yisrael, you don't hold on to Obama. You don't hold on to Trump. He says to you, you need to hold on to what are your core values. Your Torah, your mitzvot. Yeah, let me see. Hold on, let me, yeah, he found it.
Yeah.
Let me see, but I don't know if I see the thing here. Hold on 1 minute. Where is Yahadut po? Rega. You guys have to wait over there on the video as well, you have to wait for Putin here.
What?
This is a different Briut, no, I don't know, they don't have Judaism here. I don't know, my computer home they have it. But anyway.
Here.
You have it?
You did.
Yahadut. Let me see. Yeah, there's commercials. You see, it gets commercials here. It doesn't, you close, yeah, hold on. Hold on. There you go. I can't see this.
Can I find it?
Eladim. Never mind. Anyway, so that's what Putin says. I don't know. You find it and then look for it. Look for it in Hebrew. Like a Diyun, Orot, Kabbalah. Anybody wants to learn Kabbalah? You can learn on the internet. No. Anyway, so that's what it is. So the Jewish nation should stay loyal to things like that. This is our core values. When things don't work your way, be like you said. Don't say, "Oh, why Kadosh Baruch Hu is doing it to us?" We need to hold on to what we really know is absolute and it's the truth. Things of value, and that will be the Torah. And that's what we call emunah. The emunah is, what does it mean? What does it mean? Emunah, to believe in God, is understanding and saying and believing that everything that happens to me now is not a derivative of some cruel destiny or some bad karma or some punishment that is happening to me and so on and so forth. It happens to me because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is mechaven umashgiach mishamayim. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is directing and is keeping whatever he's doing, it's beyond my understanding, but he's taking care of me. Understanding that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is with me at every given moment. Gam ki elech begei tzal mavet lo erara ki ata imadi. Even if I walk in the valley of death, I won't be afraid because you are with me. That's the essence. Now, understanding that, as understanding that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the God, is here protecting me, holding my hand on the wheel. So the boat of my life, so I'll be able to come to a safe shore, through the waves, through the hardship, through everything like that. That emunah, that beliefs, gives us as humans the ability to deal with difficulty, to overcome it, to progress, to develop, to achieve, to succeed, even if I don't understand right now what is the reason of this current situation. Understanding the call, the Avid Rachamana Letav Avid. Whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu does is for the best. Ke'en ra nigzar min hashamayim. From above there's no bad decree. It might seem to us like this, but this is only due to the lack of our ability to understand. And since we don't have an ability to understand, we need to believe that it is good. It is not about fate. It's not a Christian concept. It's all about faith. You know, it's not all about faith. This is not faith. This is understanding. This is acknowledging that this is good. Gamzu letovah. It is good. I just don't see it. Now, I don't understand it, but I know it's good. Let's say, for example, there is a draft. You have to go to the army. There's a draft. There's a war. Chas v'shalom. You know, like World War II or something, or Vietnam. You know, they don't have time. They're going to take the gun in your hand and run in the hills. So you're going out with your friends, you slip and you break your leg. Right? You missed a prom night, whatever you call this. Now you're feeling bad, right? No paradise in the desert of life, right? No mocha chocolat rayaya, you know? And guess what? So now you're upset. Now I'm going to tell you you're upset. You're going to be disqualified for the draft. You want to die in Vietnam? You want to die on the shore of Normandy? It was so bad for you? Was it? No. So why are you complaining? Right now it's bad. Okay, it's bad. You don't understand. It's not bad. It's good. You just don't see it. If you take a seed in the ground, you take a seed in your hand, you put it in the ground. Where is it? I can't find it. You cry, right? Wait a little bit. You're going to have a tomato plant. You're going to eat. You're going to make salad. It's not bad. It takes time. It takes time. But we don't understand that. So when you develop your emunah, you need to understand, develop that part of your emunah to overcome the hardship, which will come into all of our ways. So that emunah will bring about a tremendous understanding that everyone should really internalize. The understanding is that every person has a destiny in his life, a unique mission that he needs to accomplish. Years ago, I read a book, The Man, the Mission, and Me. It's an unbelievable book. I would recommend to all of you to read it. Right? It's about a Delta Force operative that goes through the book, explaining military concept and how does it reflect your life. So everybody needs to understand that there is a mission. He or she or it has that's if you decide if you're he or she, you become an it, has a unique mission in his life that only he could perform. If you came to this darkness, and right now you are in a dark place, there is a reason why you are in this dark place. And the reason is, most likely, I need to turn the light on. If I get to a place and there's no Shomer Shabbat, why did I do to deserve to come to such a place? It means I need to help the people become Shomer Shabbat. If I am a rabbi in a community that nobody knows how to learn, what are you going to say? What did I sin to deserve such a place? He says, no, there's a reason why I'm here. And the reason is to make everybody a Talmid Chacham. I cannot be a Chavruta. Yes, I'm going to make everybody to my Chavruta. You need to understand that. You need to ask yourself the question, not why did it happen to me? Oh, why me? Oh, miskin. Why did it happen to me? Oh, wow. No. All right, we're here. How are we getting out of here? What's the best thing that we can do? Be a warrior. Tell yourself, I'm a warrior. I'm exceptional. There's nobody like me. And I'm in this situation, and I need to make the best out of it. I'm not going to let the troops that are looking behind me, I'm not going to let them die. I'm going to complete the mission. And if they didn't tell me what the mission is, or I got here by some freak, accident and so on, I'm going to use all my given skills to make the best out of this situation. That's why I think you should go to the army. Just a bunch of wussies sitting there, playing big shots. The first rain of jobs you're taking going to bomb shelters. That's what real men do. They don't go to the gym and lift weights and then somebody just barks into them, they run after them under the mummy skirts. Real men become men. במקום שאין איש, תהיה איש. In a place there's no man, you be the man. Nobody's doing anything, so you're going to become like everybody else? No. You're going to start doing. You're going to start an action. Don't be like anybody else. The way we are today is because of a problem in society and the way we educate our kids, but that's for a different lecture. There's a Hashem next week. But that's what you got to do. And you need to understand that that's what Yosef is telling them. He says, Lo atem shalachtem oti. Hena, you didn't send me here. Ki Elokim. God had sent me here. What do you mean God had sent you there? They put you on the boat over there with the camels, remember with the Hajis over there. They're taking you down to downtown Saudi Arabia. Then they sent you to Cairo over there. Bunch of Hajis wearing pajamas. No, you guys didn't do it. Hashem did it. That's why I'm not angry at you. I'm not angry at anybody. There was a reason. And you see, now is the reason. Don't just look at things in hindsight. That wasn't. You should develop the ability as a warrior, as a fighter, as a person in the battlefield. You should be able to make the right decisions, not only to make the right decision in hindsight. You need to be able to make the right decision in the current perspective. And now, at the here and the now. And Yosef says to the brothers, and he shares with them this tremendous enlightenment that he had. And the reason is, of course, so you won't die from starvation. So relax, brothers, relax. You see, he acts like the big guy. He's taking control of the whole situation. They are fighting with each other. You did it. No, you did it. You sold them. You want to kill him. No, you didn't. Guys, relax. Don't worry, guys. I'm here. I'm the man. I'm taking care of everything. Relax. It's okay. And we need to understand. So in this perspective of time, and what we say, as we said before, in hindsight, sometimes we see amazing things. That many times during those most difficult times of breakage and difficulty, these are the moments that made us to become who we are. More so than the moments who were tranquilo and that were easy in our lives. Most likely, the moments that everything went your way in your life. That's why I was telling Mark the other day. Where's Mark when I need him? Mark should watch this. We won't say his Hebrew name, code name, but it's okay. The most different, when you have no problems in life, I don't want to be you, because you will probably mount up to be an absolute nothing. The most difficult things in life, if you understand, it will toughen you up to become the best that you could become. Difficult. You cannot become strong, right? You would agree with me. You can't become strong sitting on the sofa watching other people lifting weights. They're sweating, they're like this, You want to become strong? Roll your sleeves, go over there, but then you become big and strong. You want to become rich. You want to go to work. Don't sit on the sofa and cry, why me, why me? Don't wait for handouts from the government like a bunch of dogs. Handouts from governments. Work. Don't wait for somebody to teach you. He'll learn from me. Rabbi, you learn from me. I'll pay you the money. You learn from me. No. You learn too, Rabotai. Those moments of difficulties when you're working hard, and it doesn't make a difference if you're working hard to make a penny or you're working hard to understand Rashi or Tosfot or the Pshat and the Gemara. Those moments make you the best. And this is what Yosef called his first sons Menashe. Why did he call them Menashe? Ki nishani Elokim et kol amali et kol beit avi. What does it mean, Menashe, Nishani? What does it mean? So look at this. Rav Hirsch says something. Nishani means make me into Noshim. Noshim, what are Noshe? When somebody's Noshe somebody, he's a debt collector. Right? Noshe is a debt collector. Ki nishani Elokim. He became a debt collector. What does it mean? He says, all the people in which I owe them now. Who are all these people who I owe them now? Yosef is saying something amazing. That the disaster that happened to my family, the disaster that happened to me, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu made, they became, I owe them. I owe them. Why? Because everything that seemed to me right now as a cruelty, as a disaster, these are the things that make me to who I am. And maybe who I am, maybe become successful. I became successful due to the people who gave me a hard time. Therefore, I owe them. Today, what do? Why are you so not nice to me? Why are you so cruel to me? Why, Rebbe, why you always speak on me? You're never going to reach anywhere like this. The rabbi tells you, listen, read Rashi. I don't know, you read it. Don't cry. I can't run a mile. I showed you without making names. Not mentioning this. How many push-ups can you do? 25. Okay, how about 55? Brother, I can't do 55. Yes, you can. Okay, that's 40. I can't do any more. Okay, how many you did 40? 10 more? Good. Give me 20 straight. Again, 20 straight. Okay, that's 20. It's 15. Okay, I said you 20 straight. Give me 20 straight. And before you know, he does 100. He wanted to quit at 25, but he did 100. You know what I'm talking about, right? Hello there, Mr. Push-Ups. You've seen it with your own eyes, haven't you? I think the record was what, 170 a day? Push-ups, something like this? 170 a day? He couldn't do 20. You could, you just don't know it. You could, you just don't know it. You don't know what you're capable of. Because you're too obsessed with your misery and your difficulties. Oh, it's hard for me. Oh, why me? Oh, this. Look at this guy. It's so easy for him. I don't want his life. I don't want it. That's why I said to you, when you get married, if you don't have arguments with your wives, you got to watch out. I'm not saying all the time arguments. But arguments are good. They're healthy. Help you fuse better together. So comes the Torah. And it doesn't come to entertain us with kind of legends. That's why I'm so much against all these rabbis who tell me legends. Sipurim, they pull it out on the sleeves. That's so stories upon stories. One of my Shachrazada here, you're going to tell me 1001 nights of legends. I'm not interested in that. The Torah doesn't come to tell me stories here. Shalom bayit, ma shalom bayit. No money, I don't care about these things. The Torah comes to teach you something here tremendously. This is how to overcome difficulties, and we all go through difficulties. You need to understand and analyze what Yosef did. His ability to deal with what we call mashber, difficulty, to become a mashbir. V'Yosefu ha-mashbir lechol haaretz. Mashbir, he's the supplier. He's the one who gives hope to all the people. From mashber, from difficulty, from crisis, he's the one who's pulling all the people out of the crisis because of the difficulties he had. And the Torah says that, but you never seen that. We have to understand and really put it in yourself that your difficulties could become a tremendous leverage to bounce you up to the next level up. Therefore, never feel sorry for yourself. Use that momentum to push through. You know, like in the movies, right? The guy says, I can fight, I cannot fight. Go, pow, 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 you know, pumps it up. Oh yeah, I can fight. You know, it goes like the same thing here. When life gives you left and right, take this energy, take this buildup of negative energy and make it work for you. Use this as a leverage to bounce you out, to catapult you forward up, to achieve and not to give up. And it says that the story of yourself is basically the story of all of us. And don't look at yourself as some kind of a legend. And if you sit down and you look at yourself stories as legends, as fairy tales, as an entertainment, you're going to miss a big, 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 big lesson in your life. There's a tremendous lesson that you need to internalize. Sit down and analyze it. Try to remember what I told you. Watch it again and again and again what I told you. Not because you need to watch me. You know how I look, pretty good. You know, you don't need to, you know, we all agree with that. But watch it because it's probably something that you're going to need sooner than later. Whatever you are, small difficulties or big difficulties. You don't break. You don't fall apart. You don't crumble. You don't shatter. You pull the people through it. You pull all the people that are willing to give up and you bring them to safety. You become the man. And Yosef was the man. Shabbat Shalom, Rosh Chodesh Tov, Chanukah Sameach.